to round 4 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 13th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Nicole Eridix.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hi.
As moms of teens and young adults, we've survived those little kid days, yet we're still rethinking the decisions we've made all through our kids' lives and worrying about what's going on right now. Today's Thursday, which means it's time to give in to our obsessing about parenting details big and small, like those little shortcomings we see and worry over in our kids. Nicole, you're struggling with this a little bit right now, right?
I am, and particularly because my daughter, as you know, is going to school out of state, out of country.
Way out of state.
Rich worry territory for moms.
Yeah, so that in itself. But, so she was home for a month, and she's, there's been a lot of personal growth. Definitely. Mm-hmm. She's changed so much since she first left, right?
Uh-huh.
But just spending time with her and talking to her about what's going on in her world, it made me realize that there's so much more going on than I ever anticipated. And it made me think, oh my goodness, did I prepare you enough for that? I don't feel like I did, because there are areas in her personality, which, with all of us, we're human, mm-hmm. that are still developing, may not mm-hmm. develop. And I think, oh my goodness, I'm so worried about how she's going to handle these things that I never thought of before, but are now mm-hmm. part of her life. How is she going to handle that with the skill set or the, her kind of who she is, right? So that's a huge stress for me, because I'm thinking, well, if this situation happens or if that situation happens, is she going to think about A, B, C, and D? Mm-hmm. Is she going to do A, B, C, and D? Like it's very stressful right now. And I don't know if it's just because this is all so new to us and I've just got to develop more confidence in her and her ability to, grow. Cause obviously I was, we all do that. We all go through periods of growth where we learn how to handle things. It's just knowing that she's got to go through that. And I think is the big worry. So, so right now I'm in particularly stressing about her, kind of surrounding herself with the right people. And not being, I don't know, taken advantage of, maybe? I don't know.
That's something I worry about
dealing with, because she's always had a lot of people around her, and now she's, she has to find her own way, and
mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I know that she's got to go through this, and it's going to be hard for her, but
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I gave her these skills to do this, but she's got to learn, because that's what happened to me.
Right.
So, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I've talked enough. Go ahead.
No.
Your turn.
Well, as a parent of kids with disabilities, it's like, it's been my worries, shortcomings all through their lives. Like, they're not ready for this. They're not age appropriate in that. What's going to happen if this happens to them or that happens to them? They're not going to be ready. I'm just constantly obsessed with that. And now they're in their 20s, and I feel the same way. I can imagine all sorts of scenarios that might come up in their work life that I have no confidence they would handle in the correct way. And, if I ever want to turn the worry dial in my brain to that channel, I'm gone for the rest of the day. I can just think of so many things, and it's terrifying. And it's, there's things that you can't really train them for, even if you try to explain things, and then sometimes you put something in their head, and then a permutation of that happens for which that thing you put in their head is not appropriate. And I worry all the time.
Right.
Definitely I am obsessed with worrying about this sort of thing. And I don't know, you have to trust that the people around them will help them and they'll handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the people around them now that they're working. And, you just have to take a leap of faith every single day and pray a lot is basically my strategy for this. But I feel my kids are so vulnerable even now, even though they've, developed lots of good skills. But, the ability to think outside the box and to handle a new thing is not, I think, there and may never be there.
Right.
So,
yeah.
My daughter came home. I hope I won't offend any of our listeners, but we all deal with this sort of thing. And she came home with this pamphlet, which she said, "Oh, these nice customers at work gave this to me, and were talking to me about their church." And I look at it, and it's like Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh no!
So, and I don't want to say. I don't want to say anything bad because I don't want her going and saying, "My mom says you people are just annoying." And on the other hand, I want her to know that please don't listen to anything they say. I said, just tell them you're Catholic. But,
and that's tricky, right? Because
from a customer service point of view, how does she handle that? You have to be polite. Mm-hmm. And, she mentioned they came back a number of times and always wanted to talk to her and, asking her about her life and about if she's worried about things and, kind of targeting in on things where she would be vulnerable. And how do you prepare your kid for that in a way that it's not like if they come to your house, you can close the door.
That's rough.
Exactly. Yeah. And at the same time, if they're buying bacon burgers, you got to just, yay, come back another time and talk to me. You're paying my salary. And it's, it's just, it seems to be the world gets more and more complicated in how we respond to people and how that's taken. And it's difficult.
Right. And it's about asserting her beliefs and being able to stay with what she, her.
Yeah.
Or, her personal feelings and origins.
Right. And, but her ability to understand that stuff is all difficult. And also just somebody being nice to her is very appealing.
Yeah.
So, so there's just like life is a minefield, and I turn my children out in it every morning and say, walk carefully.
Don't step over there.
That's right. I don't know where you should not step, but hopefully you'll know when you get there.
Yeah. Isn't it?
How about you, Catherine? Are you with us in this cesspool of obsession about our children's
just
vulnerability and not readiness?
Just think about all the things you can't anticipate, and what do you do about those? And
yes,
because so much of the way that I kind of deal with things is to really anticipate, like, think 10 steps ahead. If this is going to happen, then I'm going to need to do these 3 tests to get to that point, whatever it is. I'm always sort of thinking ahead and trying to prepare. But like you said, if you don't know where those minefields are, then how do you prepare? Like, you'd never thought when you sent her to work, like, oh, and by the way, if anyone tries to convert you to their religion, here's how you get rid of them. Like,
yes.
That is not a thing.
Exactly. Never occurred to me. It's right. There's been a few situations there, and I'm sure my son has had situations, but he doesn't come home and talk to me about them. But he's out there amongst people as well, especially when he works at a hotel. So I'm sure he goes to people's rooms to do something. What if, just
stop.
I worry about so much, and we're in a culture right now where people are very sensitive about things that are not, are abstract and not easily explained in a way that will not cause a very literal young person to apply it in the wrong way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just constantly waiting for something terrible to happen.
Right. Our kids definitely, well, they're, as we are, we're still learning too, right?
That's
right. As we get older. It's just challenging to turn them out there and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Not want to jump in and save them. And
this is where if we could set up that thing where we had earbud in their ear and like eyes on them, all that surveillance like they have in the TV shows, so we could constantly be telling them what to say and what to do in any situation. I would sacrifice my life to sit at a unit and just like I could sit in a van nearby outside their work and constantly surveil. My husband would have to do the other. We have 2 kids, so I don't know. They'd have to work at different times.
Those surveillance vans usually seem to have good snacks. So.
They do. Right. They do. And then we go back to self-care. It's like,
I need them.
I'm doing important work here. Give me the Doritos.
All right. Well, on that happy note, we're going to try to stop obsessing about this for right now. Well, we're going to stop talking about obsessing about it. And we invite you to tune in tomorrow when we'll share our roundabout roundup of things we've been using or enjoying lately that we think deserve a shout out. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there on our Facebook page or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.